Hey guys, almost was late to my own stream. I was running a little bit behind. I was trying to cook some pork chops to have with my squash and zucchini that I sauteed the other night. Not that you guys care, but it was just one of those things where I thought I had enough time. Almost didn't almost quite make it. I think my intro was starting over again. Let's see. Hey Craig, hey old curly jaws. This was another late when I decided that I wanted to do it. I was gonna do something last night, but Steve and I finished putting our new wardrobe together, and so by that point we were kind of exhausted. So, hey Uncle Bill. So needless to say, I didn't feel much like doing one last night. Still fighting those residual COVID symptoms. Unfortunately, I did get another note from the healthcare professional at the little clinic, giving me another month to work from home, because that's what my manager said that he would prefer, is if I needed to work from home once a month, give him an updated note, and that would be good for him. So I got that taken care of. So I guess for the month of August, unless I miraculously stop having the fevers and junk, I will be working from home. So let's see. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say the Fog 2005 deserves a 4-disc 4K. Well, if you would like that, oh Curly Jaws, I definitely hope you get it. And you say same with the Prom Night and the Fright Night remake. Well, again, I hope, if that's what you want, I hope that you get all 3 of those things. So I was trying to come up with something that maybe I haven't, done, or, danced around or whatever. And I did one on 4Ks a while back, but this one, just like I said in the description for this video, remember when you were a kid and your parents would tell you, now money doesn't grow on trees, when you would want something really, really bad, and, maybe, like my parents would, I don't know if they specifically says money didn't grow on trees, but I think they did at least one or two times growing up, but maybe not every time. But my dad, he was a good provider, but he didn't believe in spending on nonsense. And so, like I told the story about the first Gore Zone magazine I ever got. And my dad would, I mean, he wasn't a hard ass or anything. He did give in from time to time, letting us get little extravagances, me and my brother both. And so I had just seen my cousin Jim Bob's, and yes, again, I have a cousin named Jim Bob, and I have a cousin named Jed too, as well. So I had just seen my cousin Jim Bob's collection of Fangorias and Gore Zones, and I was just amazed because as a young horror fan, this was just like the Mecca for me. Other than watching the movies themselves. So I happened to be in Indiana. This is when my dad had coon hounds, and he would go coon hunting. And some of you that are not from like country areas or from the South necessarily, you might say, what in the hell is coon hunting? But literally, when I was a kid, and I'm kind of ashamed to say this now because I'm all for animal rights and all that, but I'm a little bit of a hypocrite too because I still eat meat. I actually got pork chops in there now. But anyway, the reason why I'm kind of ashamed of it is a long, long time ago, coon hides or skins were worth pretty good money. So my dad had coon hounds that would tree the coons. They would let the hunters know that there was a coon up in a tree. So Dad would bring home all these coons and take their hides off the bodies, and I mean, I'm sure there are some people that eat coons, but that is one thing that my dad hunted that he didn't eat. He would also catch them in traps, which I don't even want to go into details about that. I love my dad, but that is definitely not something I'd be interested in. But I was little bitty, and there's pictures of me in my nightgown holding up coon hides. And my mom is too. She's in her robe. I'm in my nightgown. We're sitting there holding these coon hides, and my dad, I guess, wanted pictures of them or something, whatever. But anyways, to get to the crux of this story, I had to kind of tell that background story because the reason my dad was in Indiana was there was a guy that raised coon hounds, and so he went to this guy's place, and then I believe on our way home, we stopped at a little gas station, and there was a Gore Zone magazine. But, I didn't know at the time that it was an anniversary issue or anything like that. And so at the time, and this probably doesn't seem too expensive nowadays, but at the time, that magazine, that anniversary issue of the magazine was $5, I believe. And so I went back out to the vehicle, I think, and I told Dad I saw this magazine, and he had given Mom $5 or something. Keep in mind, this was when I was a little kid, to get like Cokes and candy bars or whatever. And and so he had given Mom $5, and I said, "Can I have that magazine, Dad?" And he was like, "Yeah, just have your mom get it when she gets the other stuff." And that was one time when he gave in to me. So then when we picked up the magazine, my mom looked at it and she said, "Dana, this magazine alone is $5. You're going to have to go get some more money from your dad." So I had to go back out there and say, "Hey, Dad, the magazine itself is $5." He's like, $5? So, that's the kind of things that I'm sure all of us remember from our youth. Some version of, "Hey, don't you know money doesn't grow on trees?" Or, "I'm not wasting my hard-earned money on that." So, now that we're all adults, we know that money obviously doesn't grow on trees. It doesn't come out of thin air. You have to work for it, and you have to work hard for it. And so, essentially, we don't want to waste our hard-earned money. We're like our parents now. We don't want to waste. But we still love our movies. So, I got the idea that maybe if I break down some of these 4Ks, horror 4Ks that I have in my collection, maybe that can help somebody else make a decision if they're like on the fence about whether to get this one or that one. I'll give you like the pros and cons of each. And this is like a part one of it. I eventually want to go through my entire collection and pull out the 4Ks that I have. And by the time we get to some of them, I may have some more new ones in because I've got several on pre-order right now. And of course, I'm going to get the Army of Darkness 4K as well. I'm not so sure I'm going to get it from Scream Factory directly, which they may already be sold out of all their copies. And I might not have any choice but to get it from somewhere like Amazon or whatever. But, like Fright Night, and I'd heard The Lost Boys was coming out on 4K, and Fatal Attraction, which I talked about on the Bunny Bowler live stream, will be coming out on 4K. Friday the 13th, Tenebrae, of course, which should be coming around the 9th of August for me. But let me, because y'all were really chatting away in here. Let's see. Texas, you say, Texas Chainsaw Massacre in Space deserves an 8K. I don't know if I'm ever going to go, but never say never. I don't know if I'll ever go to the 8K. Maybe if, Steve tells me there's really no reason to get 8K because we've got about as good as we're going to get with the 4K, and he may very well be right on that. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say, damn right, Tex. Yes, raccoons are adorable. They certainly are. I like possums too, oh Curly Jaws. Name him Jed. John, hey John, you say, hey all, the answer is don't buy physical media, LOL. We're all infected with the sickness. Yeah, we are, John. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say, have you ever had moonshine? I've had an apple pie and had like five or six drinks. I have had some moonshine. Now, I don't know. I don't think that this is like pure moonshine. This is some that I got in a jar. It looks like a mason jar. That I got at the liquor barn or something, and I think it might be like apple pie moonshine or something. I think I still got a little bit in the refrigerator, and I can't recall exactly what the flavor was, but I know there's a guy in our neighborhood, I think, that actually makes it, and I would love to get some from him because I think his is like the pure moonshine that the moonshiners used to make in the old days. John, you say I love 4K in all seriousness. I do too, and I'm glad that I went into the 4K realm and got a 4K TV and got the speakers for the Dolby Atmos for those 4Ks that have Dolby Atmos on them, and the 4K player and all that good stuff. Um, let's see. Johnny says some movies I'll buy anything like Big Trouble in Little China. I have the Blu-ray, VHS, vinyl, CD poster, and I'm sure I'll get the 4K and anything else. I'd buy toilet paper if Jack Burton was on it. Yeah, Steve has a Big Trouble in Little China tank top that he's had for a while now. It looks a little worse for wear, but it's still pretty cool looking. Um, oh, Curly Jaws, I'm glad to see that you do like the Lost Boys. Um, I couldn't tell you. Oh, Curly Jaws. Perhaps nobody's interested, maybe in doing that one. You would think they would be though by this point. Hey James, you say you could do a moonshine and horror stream. That might be a little dangerous to my health, James, because I don't know if you've heard me talk about the time I did shots of Fireball whiskey for money during a watch along, and I will never do that again because I got so sick. Yeah, so I don't think I better mix a horror stream and moonshine. Um, John, you said I figured you're that way with the Evil Dead, right? Merch and stuff. Oh heck yeah, John, you're exactly right. Hey Chris V, I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, the shot stream, I'm sure it was entertaining, but I was so very sick for 3 days after that. And I told Steve and I told other people in my live stream that I had after that night that I was not, I was not going to do that again, no matter how much money anybody offered me. John, you say it's easy to always buy new versions of movies. I tried to sell old versions before, but I hate the idea of a 4K existing and not having that version of it if I own the other. Yeah, I'm like that with a lot of them too, John. Oh, Curly Georgie say I'm honestly shocked we have not got a remake of The Lost Boys. Um, I am too, to be quite honest with you. Um, but I just wanted to remind everybody again, get some housekeeping stuff out of the way, and then I'm going to get into the movies. And I may have to step away to actually get my supper because it's after 8 o'clock and I haven't had my supper yet. um, but um, I fixed pork chops. That's why I was almost late for my own stream, and I have zucchini and squash. So that's what I was gonna have for my supper. So if you guys don't mind me eating during the stream, I may need a little sustenance um, to be able to get through this live stream. James, you say Lost Boys and Near Dark came out the same year. Yes, they did. Actually, I think we talked about that during the vampire stream. Lost Girls needs to be made of Curly Jaws. Yeah. I mean, I would go for that. I would at least give it a try. Either way, you say. Actually, I think I am while I'm doing the housekeeping stuff. So, uh, bear with me just 1 second. I'm gonna put the Evil Dead background up and go grab my food before it gets cold. Yeah, I was gonna show y'all my food. Maybe I don't know how good it looks on the camera there, but it probably. I mean, it definitely looks better in person than it does on the camera. I'll tell you that much. Um, well, oh, Curly Jaws, to be totally honest with you, I I don't think I watched one of those sequels, and it's not really that I thought I would hate them or anything like that. It's just one of those things where it just never stayed on my radar long enough. You know what I mean? And so I just perhaps I need to go back and try maybe. I think I'm gonna have to get a knife because these pork chops aren't tough, but I need something to cut them with. But like I said, perhaps I need to go back and try, watching them again, or trying to find time to watch them again, because just like you saying stuff about them, that brings them back on my radar again. Um, but these aren't boneless pork chops either, so they got bone in the middle of them. So you kind of have to, as you guys know, you kind of have to cut around that bone. I hope I'm not making anybody hungry. Steve won't eat pork chops. I'll have to fix him something else for supper tomorrow. He'll eat like pork sandwiches or something like that, but he will not eat pork chops, and he will not eat bacon. So, but like I always say, to each his own. We all got different tastes and all that. But these pork chops aren't bad. I've been watching this lady that does videos, and her channel is called the Hillbilly Kitchen. And this is where I got the recipe for the squash and zucchini, and also where I got the recipe for the pork chops. John, you say there's a huge difference in quality in the 2K and 4K remastered Blu-rays and the old 1080p versions. I'm not always sure a 4K disc is required, but just a new mastering. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. James, you say Jason Patrick and the kid from Near Dark are brothers, and their father is Jason Miller, the priest in The Exorcist that jumps out the window at the end. Either I didn't know that, James, those couple of pieces of information you just gave, or I knew it and forgot it. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say Steve is not American if he doesn't like bacon. Bacon is great, especially in ice cream. Well, I know people like it in ice cream, and they like popsicles and stuff with it. But I don't like that, but I like bacon. James, you said the Lost Boys Blu-ray collection is worth it. I may have to look into that. John, you say, oh yeah, I've seen the Hillbilly Kitchen. I like Cowboy Kent Rollins. Oh yeah, Kent Rollins is cool too. Good foodie shows. Yes, and I wish I was rich enough to get the equipment that he either sells and has on his stream or on his videos. Yeah, Steve actually showed me or introduced me to Kent Rollins. Oh, Curly Jaws, you want to know what the worst movie I've ever seen is? Well, there's a lot of movies I don't like really well. But, of course, I'm going to say one of the current ones. You guys are going to probably, some of you guys are going to want to throw stuff at me. But one of the current ones, at least in the last few years, would be the Evil Dead remake. Hereditary would be another one. Even though I know, I promised you guys I would go back and rewatch that sucker. John, you say, Curly, I'm watching the Bye Bye Man tomorrow. I'm curious now. So y'all keep on chatting in there. I'm going to nibble on my food and go over some housekeeping stuff, and then I promise we're going to get to the movies. But once again, as many of you know, I have created my own Facebook page for Deadites on Deck, and that is where I will be advertising my streams from here on out, on there and on my personal Facebook page. But those are the only two places I will be advertising. I've chosen not to advertise on anybody else's pages other than my own. So there's a link, or there should be a link to it in the description for this video. Also, I have a link to my Etsy shop and my TeePublic shop. Feel free to check some of that stuff out if you're interested. And also, if any of those links don't work for you guys, please let me know, and I will adjust the links and also try to find you a link that works so that you can check stuff out if you'd like. So, that's basically all the housekeeping stuff I had. So, I am going to finish up my food. And what I would really like to do, and I do apologize again for eating while I'm on the stream, but, you know, sometimes time gets away from us, and I didn't really want to have you guys have to wait on me to finish the food before I even got started initially with the stream. So, here's what I'm proposing we do. I'll finish up my food before we get into the movies. That way I'm not chowing down on food while I'm trying to talk about the movies. And y'all can put whatever in the chat, and we'll talk about that just until I get through eating, and then we'll move on to the movies. How about that? Does that sound acceptable to everybody? James, you say the collection is on Amazon for $12.99. That's not too bad. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say Evil Dead Remake is such an amazing film. Better than any of the other Evil Dead films. Well, you know, old Curly Jaws, you know what a huge Evil Dead fan I am. So, I honestly can't agree with you on that. But like I've always said, to each his own. You are entitled to your own opinion, and I respect your opinion. I just can't agree with it in this case. John, you said, what 4K player do y'all have? The Sony X700. That's a popular one. It seems. I have a Sony, but I can't remember what the model is on it right now, John. I'd have to get back with you on that. John, you say, I got it in a Panasonic, but the Sony is better. Um, but let me ask you, John, are your players modded? Are either one of them modded? Because I'm sure the Sony is the best choice, but our player is modded. It was modded before it was shipped out to us. And sometimes it's kind of funky. It's kind of flaky and funky and all that good stuff. Um, so I was just wondering if your player had been modded as well. And the reason why we got a modded player is so we can play those movies that are region locked. James, you say Leatherface was a huge disappointment. I liked it for what it was, but it's not my favorite of the series. I'm dropping crap all over the place. I'm also gonna have to go get me another Mountain Dew here in a second. Um, John, you say a Panasonic doesn't do colors as well as the Sony, but for 150 it was fine. Most are 200 or more still usually. I believe the Sony modded player that we got, I think, was over 300. I hadn't heard of Oppo. I'll have to check that out, but probably won't be getting one anytime soon if they're really super expensive. Poor old Brandon, bless his heart, he's whining and barking back there. He probably wants his pill to help him sleep, which I'll probably have to get up and give to him here shortly. Mm. Yeah, if I didn't have my green screen up, oh, Curly Jaws, you'd be able to see Brandon. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say, when do you think it will release the trailer for Evil Dead Rising? I'm not really sure. That's one of those things I kind of heard about it in passing and then didn't hear any more about it. John, you say, for a long time I watched 4K on my old Xbox One. And that app it used sucked so bad. So I finally got a Sony for the other and the other Panasonic later. The Xbox player is buggy. Yeah, I think whatever they do to modify these, because obviously they're not, these players aren't meant to be modified, so there's bound to be some bugs in there. I know when I used to play The Sims a lot more. I still play it occasionally, but not like I used to. You could get mods for The Sims, and sometimes those mods would make the whole game crash or freeze or whatever. So I definitely know that modifications can be fun and they can be useful and all that stuff. But they can also cause the machine itself, or software in the case of The Sims, to be a little bit flaky. Guys, I'm going to see if Brandon wants to go outside real quick. Many apologies, everybody. I thought I'd go ahead and give Brandon his medicine too, his sleep medicine, and got me a fresh drink. Hopefully, I won't have to get up too many more times and go away. John, you say, how many 4Ks y'all have now? I'm going to say maybe 15 or 20, John, but I could be off either too many or too less on that. I don't think I've actually counted them. So I'm just taking a kind of a wild guess there. And thank you guys again for allowing me to eat while I was talking a little bit. So, with that all out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get to the movies. The first one, and keep in mind, I usually pull these off in alphabetical order from my shelf. And like I said, this is part one of, what I hope will be, several, so I can stay on top of the, the new ones coming out and things like that. Now, bear in mind, I don't get every horror 4K that comes out, just the ones I'm interested in, but I think that's what you guys do as well. So, if, I know I'm not the only game in town, so I'm sure what I don't cover, somebody else will cover somewhere else. The first one I wanted to talk about was the Alligator 4K, which I was very shocked that this came out on 4K. I mean, I don't really know why I was so shocked. I guess eventually it'll be like the Blu-rays that eventually most things are going to come out on 4K, just like they did with the Blu-rays. But am I wrong? Was there ever a Blu-ray of Alligator? Because all I had prior to getting the 4K, I believe, was a DVD. I don't ever recall having a Blu-ray. So either there wasn't one or I missed it somewhere along the way. Yeah, John, you're saying you have maybe 30 or so, but you have a lot of non-horror too. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to calculate all of mine, but I I may, be misjudging it one way or the other. But Alligator was always a favorite of mine. Growing up, this one was a favorite one. I always liked the creature films. I mean, I wasn't just always a slasher girl or whatever. I like these creature films too. Nature runs amok kind of sensibilities in movies and stuff. Day of the Animals and all that jazz. Grizzly. Any of those like Squirm or Ants. I mean, we could go on and on. We got snake movies, we got rat movies, we got roach movies. You've got The Nest, you've got Ben, you've got Willard, Stanley, which I talked about, which was a snake movie. You've got Kingdom of the Spiders. So any of those types of things I was always interested in, even though the spider movies kind of gave me the, because spiders are one thing that I can't really tolerate. I don't want to, I'm not a person, I can hold a snake all day long. A rat I can hold. My lizards, if my iguana would let me hold him, I would hold Toby, which he's named Toby. I don't know if I told you guys this, but he's named Toby after Toby Hooper. And Ernie, my bearded dragon, is named after Ernie, the bearded dragon on the last drive-in. But yes, John Martin, I have seen Crawl, and I really, really enjoyed that one as well. And I would agree that it is a good current alligator movie. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it at first, but the more I got into Crawl, the more it was like, this is a really cool movie. But Alligator, like I said, this is one I remember growing up. And it was just always fun. And when I was a kid, of course, I didn't pay attention to people like Robert Forster. This was just a movie with a fun premise and all that, and a giant alligator in the sewers, which harkens back to the urban legend about people flushing alligators down their toilets and them ending up in the sewers and growing really large and then coming out of the sewers and attacking people and eating people and all that. I sure hope Brandon calms down soon, because Steve's already went to lay down and I don't want to upset him unnecessarily. Let's see. But now, of course, like, unfortunately, Robert Forster is no longer with us, but I consider this period, like when he was in Alligator, I consider that Robert Forster's hot period, his badass hot period. Now, you guys are probably thinking, yeah, I don't think that way about Robert Forster. But that's understandable. I get that. But, there was a time during the 80s, like middle 80s, where it seemed like Robert Forster went from, and maybe this was a wig, a rug, whatever you want to call it, but even though he was starting to lose his hair when he was on Alligator, he still looked cool and badass and sexy to me, in my opinion. Hold on, guys, just 1 second. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to get up and tend to him, but maybe he's going to be quiet. But I really don't want him to wake up Steve. But then when later on, like in the mid-80s, when he was on, I can't remember if it was either the Twilight Zone from the 80s or it was the Tales from the Dark Side show. There was an episode called The Milkman Cometh, and Robert Forster was in it, and it was like he had a really bad perm in that on that show. It was not good. But like I said, if he was losing his hair or starting to lose his hair when Alligator came out, or when he was on Alligator, which was 1980, by the mid-80s, he might have had a rug. So maybe that's why it looked so odd. But it was not, in my opinion, it was not a good look for him. Let's see. I don't know why Brandon's so upset. Usually he wants to be back here with me. And now he's just acting like he wants to go in there, but I'm afraid if he goes in the other room, then he's going to go in there and bark and carry on, and then it's going to be even much worse. Let's see. John, you say, yeah, he had a big comeback when Jackie Brown came out. He was a good actor, an excellent actor. I was talking about him being, I thought he was sexy at the time this movie came out, but he was also an excellent actor, very, as I've said about some other actors, very versatile as well. John, you say Tarantino probably cast him because he loved Alligator and Vigilante. And actually, I have Vigilante on Blu-ray as well, and I enjoy it. Yes, X-Ray, we are actually talking about Robert Forster right now, because I'm talking about the Alligator 4K. You say, yeah, he was always a reliable actor. X-Ray, you say Vigilante is Bill Lustig's best movie. Fight me. John, you say Vigilante is a good one. Yeah, I agree. It's been a while since I've seen Vigilante, but I do remember enjoying it. John, you say, yeah, John Martin, you say, yeah, he had a full head of hair in Delta Force. So, this and Alligator was directed by Louis Teague, who also did Cujo, another one of my favorite films, and a Stephen King adaptation. So let me read this plot synopsis real quick here. Again, I do apologize. I don't know why Brandon won't. He's having a hard time lately settling down, even when he has a pill in him. From director Louis Teague and screenwriter John Sayles from The Howling comes an unstoppable thriller with bite. A family returned from Florida decides that their pet baby alligator is too much to handle and flushes him down the toilet. Well, not everybody in the family, actually, just the father, because I think he says that there's alligator droppings everywhere, and he just flushes the poor baby alligator down the toilet. Meanwhile, Slade Laboratories is conducting secret experiments with animals and disposing of them in the sewer. The alligator, fending for itself, begins to feed on the dead animals and grows. Now, 12 years later, after several mysterious murders, David Mess and Robert Forster is on the case to find out who or what is killing people. Because I think at first, we know it's the alligator. But within the movie, they wonder if maybe it's not a serial killer that's killing people and then dumping them in the sewer. But then they've got these animals, these dogs, primarily showing up in the sewers. And there was a woman with a missing dog. But she said her dog, Taffy, this dog that they found dead in the sewer was too big to be her Taffy, and she holds up a little dog sweater that obviously would not fit this gigantic looking dog that's underneath the sheet. And me being the animal lover, and especially a dog lover like I am, this really pulled at my heartstrings, because within the movie, even though I knew it wasn't real, they got a pet. Why a pet store guy? Well, I guess he's doing it for money. Primarily just to make money on the side or whatever. But a pet store or pet shop owner is stealing dogs, the neighborhood dogs. He's stealing them and giving them to the Slade Laboratories so they can do tests on them. Well, they cut the vocal cords of the dogs when they first get them to keep them quiet. And also, and I just think taking a dog's bark away is cruel. Sometimes it's annoying when they bark, but I would never want to take that bark away from them. So they cut the vocal cords of these poor dogs, and then they start doing tests on them. And the ones that don't make it, which is probably almost all of them, if not all of them, they end up getting dumped in the sewer. Meanwhile, this alligator that's been feeding on things down there for 12 years, since he was flushed down the toilet, and his name's Ramon, also. And Ramon has been down there eating these lab animals. Evidently was, I believe, some kind of like growth hormone or something in them. So in essence, because he's eating on these dogs that are 2 or 3 times their normal size, he grows to 2 or 3 times his normal size until he's huge. It's almost like Jaws, but it's an alligator in the sewers instead of a shark in the ocean. X-Ray, you say he was in Twin Peaks, The Return of the Town Sheriff. Yep, that's right, X-Ray. John, you say Delta Force needs a fucking 4K. Yeah, I would agree. You say you have that old MGM Blu-ray. X-Ray, you say that alligator got fucked with. I don't blame him for going on a rampage. Yeah, he should have found the father of that girl and like ate him, or chewed on him for a little bit, because if he hadn't flushed him down the toilet, this would have never happened. Of course, then we wouldn't have had this cool ass movie. But you know, speaking again of Robert Forster, I think Robert Forster was a real trooper to put up with jokes throughout the movie about his thinning hair. And they do. They just keep popping up and popping up. And, you know, I'm sure the director, I'm sure Louis Teague talked this over with Robert Forster. I'm sure he didn't just say, oh, yeah, we're going to do this to Robert Forster. We're going to talk about his thinning hair. I'm sure it was something that was discussed. But like I said, I think Robert Forster was a real trooper with that. And also, I believe, from listening to the commentary, I believe that at one part in the filming, you notice it real clearly when he's getting ready to go in front of the press and talk about the possibility that they could have a serial killer on their hands, but they don't really know because they don't have much evidence to go on. And his boss is like talking to him and saying, you need to shave, Madison, blah, 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 and carrying on. And he's putting his shirt on, getting it buttoned up and trying to get, you know, presentable to go in front of these journalists. And you'll notice that he does look pale. His eyes look a little puffy and got dark circles under them. And he looks unlike any other scenes in the movie. He doesn't look like he feels good. And I believe that he may have had pneumonia. And there went my light again. He may have had pneumonia. Either pneumonia, meningitis, something. I'm just not sure exactly which. But he does talk about it on the commentary for the movie. So if you're interested in that, you know, if you're interested in commentaries in general, the commentary for this one is quite good. But I'm going to switch out my light really quickly. Because it never stays, you know, it's supposed to last 2 hours. It don't even last an hour. But, Brandon, you need to be good, Bubby. Okay, so I'll switch that out. I am definitely going to have to see if I can find the right size batteries that'll fit these that will last longer than this, because it is really irritating, and it's irritating for you guys for me to have to hop up and down to change out that light. Not very professional of me. John Martin, you say Ronaflix put out a pretty good edition of Delta Force. Yeah, no, I was thinking of another movie. Okay, yeah, but I think Raw Force is the one Steve has. But I'd like to see Delta Force again, actually. John, you say, I have the 4K, but I haven't seen Alligator in ages. All I remember is the gator going on a rampage at the party, and the guy in the limo says, get the hell out of here. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But that is a big scene. That's one of the highlights of the movie, is that big scene, because the alligator really chomps down on a lot of people during that party. But I want to talk about, because I said I was going to talk about the pros and cons of each one of these, because I like to talk a little bit about the movie itself, but I also want to mainly focus on the qualities that make these good or not so good 4Ks, in my opinion. Keep in mind, this is my opinion. Somebody else may have a totally different opinion on it. So make sure you do get a wide variety of opinions from different people before you make a selection, because I wouldn't want somebody to listen to just me and then say, well, Dana said this, that, and the other, and then I got it and I thought this was shitty. I don't want that to be on my shoulders. So I recommend that you listen to a wide variety of views on the quality of these before you lay down your hard-earned money, because that's the main purpose of me doing this live stream, is to help people make a decision. But I don't want them to base their decision solely on what I say. I think the quality of this particular Blu-ray is just okay. There are some scenes that stand out more than others. Those close-up shots where you can actually see the pores of the skin in the skin and all of that. Some of the scenic shots are good. There is some grain. But again, this is probably the best you're ever going to see alligator look, to be honest. So would I buy it again? Theoretically, I'm not going to, in reality, I'm not going to buy it again. But I'm saying, if I just had money to burn, would I rebuy this thing knowing the quality? Yes, I would. Because the overall package is worth it to me. And the quality is good enough that I find myself enjoying the movie more. And that's sometimes how I judge things, is if I enjoy it even 50% more than I did other versions, then to me it's worth my money. Now, there are, of course, other factors that come into play, the sound being one of them, not just the picture quality. You do have like DTS HD Master audio on this. You do not have Dolby Atmos, but still, with our speaker setup at home, if you have a decent speaker setup, you don't have to have a top of the line, super, super expensive speaker setup to be able to enjoy the sound that is included on the majority of the 4Ks. For instance, Steve adjusted. Here's something that I could recommend to you, and I didn't think about this really until Steve did it. Now, when I had smaller home theater systems, when I lived at home with my parents, I would try to put these little speakers about yay big up on the wall. But any bigger ones, I never did put them up on the wall because we lived in a double wide. And I didn't want to tear the walls down in my parents' house. And I was afraid that would be too hard on them. And, so I didn't want to do that. But now I live in a house. And Steve ended up mounting our bookshelf size speakers that are like yay big. He ended up mounting them on the wall, which means, and they're about equal distance apart. So if I'm sitting on our couch watching a movie, I can hear things now coming from some of those side speakers that I never remembered hearing before. It's like, sometimes I wonder if somebody's outside the window, because if somebody's walking on the movie, you can hear the crunch, crunch, crunch. So a lot of it is the way you have your speakers set up. So if you live in a house, I wouldn't recommend this in an apartment, but you probably wouldn't be able to have this kind of sound system in an apartment anyway. But if you own your own house or you pay a mortgage or whatever and you have a house, then I would highly recommend you putting at least the bookshelf size speakers um, on your wall, because it is really, I feel like, improved our sound quality for our movies. Like I said, I'm hearing things now that I never heard since I've lived in this house. So that's one little small thing that you can do to improve your sound. John, you say, I have the 4K, but I haven't. Oh, I already read that. Sorry, John. John, you say, did Studio Canal do the mastering? They always do good work. This actually is a Scream Factory release, John. And I know a lot of people lately put down Scream Factory and call it Scheme Factory. And they do, unfortunately, Scream Factory does do some unsavory things. You know, with several releases. I still think that they do a decent job on the releases that they put out for the most part. And I think this one's no exception. I feel like that the whole package is definitely worth purchasing, especially if you're into these animal attack type of films. Or if you're into Robert Forster. Um, Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Reggie, go lay down right now. You're not getting here. I'm trying to do a show. No. Okay, guys, sorry. Hope y'all didn't hear me saying some naughty words back there, but oh, the joys of having dogs, and especially older dogs. Brandon had an accident in there in the kitchen and had to clean that up, and that was made me realize why Reggie was jumping up on the gate that's closed between the kitchen and the living room. Because unfortunately, some dogs like to eat other dogs' bathroom mistakes. So, which I know is gross, but it happens from time to time. But anyway, and I walked in the little accident too, which was not good. Anyways, back to Alligator. John, you say, honestly, they still do good stuff. The Escape from New York 4K was awesome. They fuck up a lot too, sure. Yeah, I think it's, it's about half and half with them. John, you say Scream Factory is resting on their reputation, but I think if it's Studio Canal, it's more of a chance of a good release. I think Arrow is best. Arrow is awesome with a lot of their releases. Definitely. So, again, I think the sound is pretty much amazing. Being as we went from a DVD only release to this actually has a Blu-ray in it as well. So, and you'll see the 4K is out of here because I was rewatching it a little bit earlier. But you also have the theatrical version and the theatrical version on Blu-ray. You also have the television version on Blu-ray, which I have not gotten around to watching just yet. And I don't recall ever seeing Alligator on TV. I think probably the first time I watched Alligator was probably I rented it. Let me actually check something on here because I want to be able to tell you guys. I should have already had Amazon up. And I didn't realize you guys can do your own research on this, but I like to be able to give you information too. So Alligator right now on Amazon is $26.99. And if you have Prime, you can get it Tuesday if you order it right now. So do I think it's worth $26? Yeah, because, and here's why. Because I think that the 4K quality is the best, probably the best we're ever going to see this movie. The sound is above average. And again, the way we've got our speakers set up, it's entirely adequate for me. And also, this really, I mean, we do occasionally get new special features with a 4K. Which in this case, I don't think we had little, if any, special features. There may have been commentary on that DVD. I'm not really sure. I haven't pulled that one out in a while. But I probably wouldn't get a 4K based solely on the special features. I say that now, but there may come a time when I do. But with 4Ks, I'm generally looking for a lot better picture quality and a lot better sound quality. Or in some cases, we get lucky and we get exceptional picture quality and exceptional sound quality. So I am going to talk about the special features real briefly here before we move on to the next one. You get a new 4K scan from the original negative, and this is disc 1, which is the 4K version. And you get audio commentary with director Louis Teague and actor Robert Forster, which is an excellent commentary in my opinion. Disc 2 is the Blu-ray theatrical version. You get a new 4K scan from the original negative, new interview with actress Robin Riker, new interview with Louis Teague, new interview with special effects artist Robert Short, audio commentary with Louis Teague and Robert Forster, interview with screenwriter John Sayles, teaser trailer, theatrical trailer, TV spots, trailers from Hell, filmmaker Karen Kasama on Alligator. And then you get disc 3. And keep in mind, this has got 3 discs with it, and it's $26.99. To me, that is definitely worth it. This is the Blu-ray television version. You get a new 4K scan from the original camera negative with additional footage scanned from an inner positive. But anyway, that is Alligator. And this is the collector's edition, which, as far as I know, is the only version that's out. Okay, so we're going to move along to, and I do apologize because I feel like I've talked about this next one pretty recently, but we're not going to delve deep into the plot of this one. I just mainly want to talk about the picture and sound quality on it, and possibly the special features. But this is the Arrow 4K of An American Werewolf in London, which I am so, so glad that I ended up purchasing this one, because I'll tell you right off the bat, this was well worth my money. And I know somebody kind of knocked me for saying on one of my other streams that I thought An American Werewolf in London was a better werewolf movie than The Howling. But I didn't say I didn't like The Howling. I just said there were a few more special things that made this one, in my opinion, more unique than The Howling. I love The Howling. I love Joe Dante. I'm not, putting it down at all. I just said this is just a wee bit better for me. John Martin, you say, just got the 4K of Species from Screen Factory today. Ooh, John Martin, I haven't seen Species in any format for a long, long time. They used to be one of my dad's favorite movies. I don't know if that was because the chick got naked. No, I'm just kidding. But my dad would he liked stuff like that, and he liked the Alien movies and stuff like that. I mean, I credit my dad with getting me into stuff like that. My mom wasn't really into that kind of stuff that much. She was into the slashers and vampire films and ghost films and all of that. But Dad was more into, probably like you would say, the animal attack movies and just those sci-fi horror types of movies as well. But anyway, back to American Werewolf in London. Let me go ahead and double check the price of this one. This one, well, yeah, this is the 4K. This one is going for $29.99. Hey, I think that is well worth it. And I'm going to tell you why here in a few seconds. Because this is one of them, and here's the actual case here. This is one of them where they were dead on with the transfer. There is very little grain in this one. Most things are very crisp. Seem to kind of jump out from the television. And it just really, really looks good overall. You know how I was just talking about Alligator and how some of the scenes looked really good, and then some of the scenes were like, But this one is a home run all the way. Um, I am a little disappointed in the sound quality because, yeah, I don't believe there's any Dolby Atmos. And you're probably saying, boy, Dana, you're being a stickler for that Dolby Atmos. Well, yeah, because I have the ability to listen to it. If I didn't have that particular speaker set up, I probably wouldn't care. But because I do have it, and I'm sure there's probably some of you out there that have it as well, that want to be able to appreciate that on more movies, or at least have the option to do it. But the picture quality is astronomical. Definitely the best this movie's going to look, I think. It does, I was just talking about the sound. It does have 5.1 audio. Not 7.1, but 5.1. And it does still sound great, even without the Dolby Atmos. Let's see. John, you say Best Buy is a good idea for SF at a Screen Factory and Arrow because you can get their points too and get gift certificates. Yeah. The only thing about Best Buy for me, John, anymore, now ordering from them's fine. On the other hand, if you actually, I don't know if this is the case where you're at, but if you actually go in the store here in Louisville to the Best Buys, I call it the ever shrinking. It used to be the ever shrinking horror collection. Now it's the ever shrinking Blu-ray and 4K, DVD, whatever section. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller every time me and Steve visit the store. So yeah, I would definitely say if you're going to order from them, it's a great idea, but don't expect too much in store. But I don't think I'm going to go too much into, I'm not going to read you off this plot, but I will tell you that this is the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray limited edition, and it is loaded with stuff. Some of the stuff was previously on the Blu-ray version as well. But you do get the brand new 4K restoration by Arrow Films from the original camera negative. Let's see. You get 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio. Audio commentary by Beware the Moon filmmaker Paul Davis. Audio commentary by actors David Naughton and Griffin Dunn. And I've talked about that commentary before. It sounds like two friends sitting down and kind of bullshitting about a movie. And those kind of commentaries I absolutely love. Mark of the Beast, the Legacy of the Universal Werewolf, a feature-length documentary by filmmaker Daniel Griffith, featuring interviews with John Landis, David Naughton, Joe Dante, and more. An American filmmaker in London, an interview with John Landis, in which he reflects on British cinema and his time working in Britain. I Think He's a Jew, The Werewolf Secret, a video essay by filmmaker John Spira about how Landis' film explores Jewish identity. The Werewolf's Call, Corin Hardesty, director of The Hallow and The Nun, chats with writer Simon Ward about their formative experiences with Landis' film. Warriors of the Wolf, a feature in which effects artists Dan Martin and Tim Laws, a prop store, look at some of the original costumes and special effects artifacts from the film. Beware the Moon, the great Paul Davis acclaimed feature-length exploration of Landis' film, which boasts extensive cast and crew interviews An American Werewolf in Bob's Basement and Causing a Disturbance, Piccadilly Revisited. Two 2008 featurettes filmed by Paul Davis. Making American Werewolf in London, a short archival featurette on the film's production. An interview with John Landis, a lengthy archival interview with the director about the film. Makeup artist Rick Baker on American Werewolf in London. The legendary makeup artist discusses his work on the film. I Walked with the Werewolf, an archival interview with Rick Baker about Universal's horror and its legacy of Wolfman films. Casting of the Hand, archival footage from Rick Baker's workshop showing the casting of David Naughton's hand. Outtakes, storyboards featurette, original trailer, a teaser, plus TV and radio spots, extensive image gallery featuring over 200 stills, posters, and other ephemera. Also a reversible sleeve featuring original poster art and artwork by Graham Humphreys. A double-sided fold-out posters, 6 double-sided postcard-sized lobby card reproductions, a limited edition 60-page perfect bound book featuring new writing by Craig Ian Mann and Simon Ward, archival articles, and original reviews. So I'm not going to drag all this stuff out and re-show it because I believe on my favorite werewolf films, I think I actually talk about the stuff that's inside here. So I don't want to retread over that. Let's see. I don't want to retread over stuff that I've already covered. But I would highly recommend this one. I honestly don't think $30 is too much for the awesome package that is An American Werewolf in London in 4K. Okay. Let's see. John, you say agreed. A lot of the stores suck. My local got better in 2021 out of nowhere, but they change it yearly, so it may not last. Barnes & Noble I go to for the summer sales and Arrow and Criterion. Yeah, Steve and I do as well. We just went to, actually, we bought some stuff and paid for it online and then went and picked it up the next day from Barnes & Noble. That was I think that was the Arrow stuff that, Arrow stuff that I ended up getting. I got Shock and Family of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, which I will surely probably be talking more about at a later time. Okay. Let's see. John Martin, you say, real looking forward to the Flatliners 4K. Oh, yeah, man, I had forgotten about the Flatliners 4K, actually. Thank you for reminding me of that. Steve's going to kill me how many 4Ks I'm actually getting. Okay, so the next one is it's not the only Stephen King related film I've got in this stack, but it's one of the original ones. And that is Children of the Corn. And a lot of people probably say, well, why in the hell do you want to buy Children of the Corn on 4K? What possible reason could you want for having it on 4K? And they might have said that about the Blu-ray, which actually didn't come out that long ago either. And I ended up selling my Blu-ray, which looked a lot like this. But of course, I think, in my opinion, the quality of the 4K, as far as picture quality, mind you, is, I'd say 25% better than the Blu-ray. I know that's not a large percentage. But it was worth it to me to buy it because I'm a huge Stephen King fan. And I'll be honest, for those of you that don't have to just about watch every Stephen King adaptation, you might want to consider passing on it. On the other hand, if you are like me and you get almost every Stephen King release that comes out, you may want to consider it because I think that you will enjoy it. Again, you only get either 2.0 sound or 5.1 sound. There is no Dolby Atmos, sadly. But the 5.1 is adequate, I feel like. Let's see. John, you say, I want that Children of the Corn. I only got it in VHS. Wow, yeah, so you're going to be making a huge jump, John. I think it will definitely be worth it for you. You say you may get it for the Camp Arrow sale. That's a good idea. Let me tell you how much it is going for on Amazon right now. If I can find it here. Huh, that's odd. You would think that's... Let's do this. There we go. Now, on Amazon, the 4K is going for $32.83. Honestly, again, if you're not the biggest Stephen King fan out there, you might either wait for the price to drop or possibly get a used copy. Let me see if they got any used copies. Okay, so they've got it, you know, if you're not, I'll put it this way, if you're not the hugest Stephen King fan out there, they do have 20 used and new offers on Amazon. The cheapest is $18.66 with $3.99 delivery. You'll get it August 12th through the 15th. And it does say that this disc has some light scratches. Cases could be broken. Manual might be missing. Or, you know, a booklet if a booklet came with it. And this is from a place called G&J Books, and they have 96% positive over the last 12 months. Then you could get a used very good copy for $23.65. One for, and that one you can get prime delivery on it and could get it Tuesday if you order it in the next 2 hours and 26 minutes. This one is missing shrink wrap. Activation codes for bonus online content may be missing or expired. Small mark on disc, small cosmetic damage on the item case. This one's actually coming from the Amazon warehouse. And then you've got, you know, some that are actually, I mean, this just blows my mind. If Amazon is offering it brand new in the shrink wrap for $32.83, why on earth would you pay $35.99 plus $5.49 shipping for used like new? That has always been like, and then somebody wants $45 for it, brand new. It's like, it just doesn't make sense that you would do that. Somebody wants $46 for it. Some people want $50. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I could understand if they were sold out at Amazon. Maybe you were desperate, but otherwise I wouldn't do that. John, you say, yeah, I often just get tapes at Goodwill. I don't watch them most, but I collect them for nostalgia. I had a DVD of Children of the Corn years ago. I had a DVD, and I probably had a VHS, then a DVD, then a Blu-ray, and then I got that other Blu-ray that came out right before this 4K did, it seemed. And now, of course, I've got the 4K. There are quite a few special features on this disc. You get a brand new 4K restoration from the original camera negative by Arrow Films. You get 5.1 audio options and stereo options. You get audio commentary with horror journalist Justin Beam and Children of the Corn historian John Sullivan, audio commentary with director Fritz Kurtz, producer Terrence Kirby, and actors John Franklin, Courtney Gaines. That one, in my opinion, is probably the best commentary on this disc. Harvesting Horror, The Making of Children of the Corn, a retrospective piece featuring interviews with director Fritz Kurtz and actors John Franklin and Courtney Gaines. It was the 80s, an interview with actress Linda Hamilton. Return to Gatlin, brand new featurette revisiting the film's original Iowa shooting locations. Stephen King on a Shoestring, an interview with producer Donald Borchers. Welcome to Gatlin, the sights and sounds of Children of the Corn. An interview with production designer Craig Stearns and composer John Elias. Cut from the Cornfield, an interview with the actor who played the Blue Man in the fabled excised sequence. Disciples of the Crow, a 1983 short film adaptation of Stephen King's story, and a theatrical trailer. And that is Children of the Corn. John, you say VHS for me is like action figures for many adults now. It's comforting nostalgia. Yeah, that is something else I was talking about when I did my nostalgia stream, was the fact that if you were having a crappy day or a crappy week, pretty much like I was at that point in time, these types of things from our youth that we consider nostalgic are comforting. It's like comfort food for your soul. Remember those Chicken Soup for the Soul books? These are like chicken soup for the horror fan soul, So, anyway, moving on. John, you said takes me back to movie gallery days. Exactly. Moving right along, I have another Arrow release, Arrow 4K, and that is for Dario Argento's Deep Red. I don't know if I've showed y'all this package yet, but there's the case for the 4K. You get some reproductions of the lobby cards there. There's good old Carlo. I may have showed these before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing these. Put these back in there. And you get the export version, and you also get the original version and the export version in this set. Yeah. If I can get that back in there, right? You also get a really, I'm only showing this because I'm not sure if I showed it on another stream. But you get this cool mini poster, and on the back you get like a variant of the Deep Red poster under the title Profondo Rosso. And you also get this nifty little booklet. It's a pretty thick booklet too. You see, it's got some cool pictures in there. And it's actually got Dario Argento's Deep Red by Alan Jones, Deep Red, The Quintessential Giallo by Michael J. Coben, The Architecture of Fear, The Surrealist Faces of Dario Argento's Deep Red by Rachel Nisbet, and some information about this particular restoration. This is another one that, Arrow hit it out of the ballpark once again with this release. It's excellent. on all levels. Again, didn't want to tell you wrong. We do get only 5.1 master audio, which again is adequate. With a decent set of speakers, it's going to be great. The picture quality is not uneven, in my opinion, with this release. It is all excellent. I'm hoping I can say the same about Tenebrae when it finally comes in. I'm eagerly waiting for my copy of that, which is probably going to get here around the 9th. Of course, I might get lucky and it might come early. But anyway, let me give you that price on Amazon. Right now it's $38.99, which again, I think that is decent for the quality. This is the 2-disc limited edition, which is what I have. If you don't want to buy it new, they do have it. They have 19 used and new offers right now on Amazon. Used very good. You can get it for $27.64. You can get it August 3rd if you order within 2 hours and 17 minutes. It comes from the Amazon warehouse. But again, Amazon's got it for $38.99, brand new in the shrink wrap. But other people are selling it on Amazon new for $46.14, $40.93. Well, that one's used like new. Another one for $40.95, $48.77, $52.77. Again, if Amazon has it in stock, I don't know why these people would insist on putting it up there for like these inflated prices. But $27.64 right now is about the cheapest you can get it. But if you're a stickler for details and want it brand new in the shrink wrap, then I honestly don't think $38 is too much for what you get in this package. Like I said, the picture quality is outstanding, fantastic, whatever you want to say about it. The sound quality is adequate. And you do get two discs. So I'm going to go over some of these special features on here. Now, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray limited edition contents include new 4K restoration of both the original 127-minute Italian version and the 105-minute export version from the original negative by Arrow Films. Let's see. Limited edition packaging with reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Obviously Creative. Illustrated collector's booklet featuring writing on the film by Alan Jones and Michael J. Coven, and a new essay by Rachel Nisbeth. Fold-out double-sided poster featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Obviously Creative. 6 double-sided postcard-sized lobby card reproduction art cards. Okay, disc 1 has 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray Deep Red Original version. Restored original lossless mono Italian and English soundtracks. Optional lossless 5.1 Italian soundtracks, English subtitles for the Italian soundtrack. New audio commentary by critics Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson. Archival audio commentary by Argento expert Thomas Rostock. Almost 3 hours of new interviews with members of the cast and crew, including co-writer and director Dario Argento, actors Maka Merrill, Gabriel Lavia, Jacopo Mariana, and Lino Cappuccio, Argento's original choice for the role of Marcus Daly. Production designer Angelo Iacono, composer Claudio Simonetti, and archival footage of actress Dario Nicoletti. Italian trailer, Arrow Video 2018 trailer, and image galleries. Disc 2 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray Deep Red export version. Restored original lossless mono English soundtrack. Archival introduction of the film by Claudio Simonetti of Goblin, Profondo Giallo. An archival visual essay by Michael McKenzie, featuring an in-depth appreciation of Deep Red, its themes, and its legacy. Archival interviews of Dario Argento, Dario Nicoletti, Claudio Simonetti, and longtime Argento collaborator Luigi Cozzi, U.S. theatrical trailer. Okay. John, you say, I have that Deep Red set but haven't watched it yet. Love the film. Yeah, I highly, highly recommend it, especially in this version of it. In my eyes, this is the best you're ever going to see this film look. I think it's worth the price it is right now. I definitely wouldn't want, to put somebody on the wrong path. You know what I mean? And they'll miss out on this and then would like to have it and have to pay those inflated prices that people are charging right now. It's ridiculous. So I would definitely say if you want to get this, now is the time to get it before Amazon sells out. And Steve would probably disagree with me because he's always telling me, he says, Dana, if you wait long enough, the prices will go down. I said, yeah, either the price will go down or they're going to run out of them and they're going to be sold out. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to end up having to pay an inflated price to have it when if I had just went on and bought it, it would have been a semi-reasonable price. John, you say it's maybe in the 5 best horror films ever, to me at least. Yeah, it's definitely in the top of many horror lists that I would have. But as I said before, Tenebrae almost edges Deep Red even out. It does edge Suspiria a little bit, even though I love Suspiria as well. But Tenebrae is something special to me, and that's probably why a big, huge part of the reason why I'm so excited about the 4K of Tenebrae coming out. But anyway, yes, I would highly recommend you get Deep Red now rather than later if you're really into Argento stuff. This will be a really great addition to your movie collection. Okay. The next one, I do apologize because the other night when I was talking about possession films, I did talk about this one, and I believe I talked about the next one I'm going to talk about. And I do apologize, but we're essentially talking about the quality of the 4Ks tonight. So it won't be like I'm repeating the same information I gave. And this is the Demons 1 and 2 4K special limited edition from Synapse Films. Steve has the version that came out from Arrow, which I will tell you, I think I said this before, but I'll say it again. In my honest opinion, the sound quality is a lot better on this Synapse release. As far as the video transfer on both of these, I feel like they're about equal. But if I wanted the whole package to look and sound great, I would have to say I would go with Synapse's release in this case. Sorry, Arrow. I do buy a lot of Arrow stuff, but it's I have to, be honest about what I think it has the best qualities as far as a full package. And to me, that includes the video and the sound quality. So, in this case, unfortunately, for Arrow anyway, of course, Arrow probably doesn't care what I say, and neither does Synapse. But in my opinion, if you're wanting the complete package, Synapse will be the way to go on this release. They both look great on this 4K, and they both sound great on this 4K. And actually, to be honest, I think the first Demons was the one that had some audio issues on the Arrow release. I don't believe Demons 2 had that issue. I mean, these are great films anyway. I like the first one the best, of course, but I do appreciate Demons 2 as well. But again, I think these are definitely worth getting on 4K. Let me see if I can give you a price on this. Now, I will say this is a little bit more expensive than some of these sets. Amazon is actually wanting $59.10 for the 4K set with Demons 1 and 2. But, again, you can always go the used route. There's used like new. There's a copy for $40 with $4 shipping. You get it August 3rd through the 8th. This seller, Proglodite, has 100% positive over the last 12 months. And that's used like new. So it says excellent condition with slipcover and other paraphernalia. They don't ship internationally. So for you guys that are in the UK and stuff like that, you wouldn't be able to get it from this person. They do offer shipping discounts on multiple purchases. It's probably about the best price on it. But if you do want to buy it brand new with the shrink wrap and stuff on it, I do think it is well worth it. Now, I'm looking too. It looks like Demons 1 and 2 from Arrow, the 4K from Arrow, is going for $187.62. So at this point, you would do better to try to get the Synapse release. Again, I would recommend this set. I would even recommend the Arrow set. If you couldn't get this and by some miracle you were able to get the Arrow release and it was decent. Now, I know there's probably, that was the original pressing that had that audio issue, and I think that they replaced all the discs. Excuse me, guys. I think they replaced all those discs and sent replacement discs to people, just like we had that issue with some of the Friday the 13th discs that I believe Screen Factory put out. So, that makes it a little bit better when they're willing to go that extra mile and correct mistakes. So what I'm thinking is that future pressings of that Arrow release of Demons 1 and 2 would have that audio issue corrected. But it seems right now that this is the more reasonable of the two releases. Well, John, I hope to see you next time. You say you got to run early for dog dinner, etc. But later on, I'll be glad to see you in the next one, maybe, John. Thanks for stopping by for a little bit. So let's talk about the special features on this Demons 1 and 2. You get a new 4K restoration of both Demons and Demons 2 from the original 35 millimeter camera negatives. 4K UHD Blu-ray presentation of both films. Limited edition packaging featuring new artwork by Juan Jose Saldariga and Chris McGibbon. Production of the original movie ticket from Demons. A special Demons 2 birthday party invitation fold-out poster of Demons artwork by Wes Benscotter. 4K UHD all-region playback. And because I feel like I just talked about the special features the other night in my Demon Possession films stream, I'm not going to go through all of these. But again, I will say that even though this is a little bit more expensive than some of the others that I've been talking about tonight, in my opinion, if you are a huge fan of these movies like I am, I think it's highly worth your money. And I wanted to say that when this came out, maybe it was about like $50 or so. But I was thinking it was a little bit more expensive than that. But I could be wrong. But I definitely think the full package and the quality of the movie itself, the sound quality is awesome. And the movie all around is awesome. So if you're a huge fan of either one or both of these movies, especially if you're a fan of both of the movies, I think it would be well worth the money. So that's my recommendation. You can take it with a grain of salt if you like. Okay, the next one I also talked about briefly the other night. And this is another Stephen King adaptation, and it's Dr. Sleep. Again, I'm not going to go through the plot of it because I feel like we talked a little bit about that the other night. But I will say that generally it's the older films that we noticed the biggest change in. But there's also a few of the newer ones where we're like, wow, that's crisp. That really pops out of the screen. And Dr. Sleep does that, in my opinion. And it is, it's a newer movie. So, and this isn't like it's a limited edition with all the bells and whistles. So it's not going to be quite as expensive. It does have Dolby Atmos sound, guys. So you get the exceptional picture quality. You get the exceptional audio quality. So heck yeah, if you're a Stephen King fan, or even if you just liked Kubrick's version of The Shining, I think you will love this one. So let's check out the price that this is going for now. It is going for $22.94 on Amazon, or you can get it for $11.19. There are several new and used. This is used very good for $11.19 plus $4.59 shipping. You get it August 5th through the 12th. This person has 94% positive over the last 12 months. So I definitely wouldn't go with the one from Matt's Mix that's $21.71 for used very good when you can pay just $22.94 and get it brand new in the shrink wrap. Yes, exceptional video quality, exceptional sound quality. And reasonable price. I don't think $22 is too much to ask for this movie. you get a few special features, and I probably talked about these the other night. You get From Shining to Sleep. Author Stephen King and director and screenwriter Mike Flanagan look back at the original novel and the classic film to discuss how they took on the sequel. The Making of Dr. Sleep and New Vision, Return to the Overlook. Also, you get in this set, you get the director's cut, which is only on Blu-ray, but you also get the 4K of the film, not the director's cut, but of the film, which would entail that it's the theatrical release. But you still get that director's cut on Blu-ray, which is awesome as well. And that is Dr. Sleep. Highly, highly recommend. Okay, so we're down to the last 4 I'm going to cover tonight. Actually, John was the only one that was talking quite a bit, and both Johns, Movie Junkie John and John Martin, were both talking. And I just hope I haven't caused some of you to tune out on me. But I'm going to try to go through these last 4 pretty quickly, because I know a lot of you guys have got to get in bed for work tomorrow. And I also got a heck of a mess in the kitchen to clean up where I was making those pork chops and stuff. So I definitely want to do that before get everything all cleaned up and stuff. And I may have to cook Steve some General Tso's chicken for tomorrow, because he, like I said before, he doesn't like pork chops. But anyway, moving on. I did not talk about these in my possession films, because I feel like I talk about these a lot, and you probably can figure out what I'm going to talk about. But I had to include them in my 4K discussion. And one of them is The Evil Dead. Yes, this is the 4K. I love this artwork, even though it doesn't include Bruce Campbell in it. But I always have thought that is really cool artwork. As you can also see, my new logo, Evil Dead Chick logo, is that artwork, just altered a little bit. Okay, now, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, so I had to get this on 4K, and there went my light in. I was definitely not going to miss out on getting it on 4K. However, I will share with you guys the fact that I don't think that this video quality is as high quality as some of these other 4Ks I've been talking about tonight. I'll just be totally honest on that. So, do I think this is probably the best this is ever going to look? Yeah. On the other hand, do I think that you should just run out and spend your money on it? Not unless you are a real big fan of the Evil Dead movies. Okay? Because I don't want anybody to feel like they've wasted their money. And again, you get what they call immersive audio, but you do not, from what I'm looking at here, you do not get Dolby Atmos. Actually, I would say, though, in the case of this release, the sound quality is better than the picture quality in this case. And that's me, a huge Evil Dead fan, saying this. Is the quality decent? Yeah. But I just don't feel like it's the best it could be. And maybe it is. Maybe they did all they could, taken from the original camera negative and all that stuff, and they just literally could not make it look any better. Am I still going to continue to watch it and love it and all of that? Sure, heck yeah. But again, if you are not a really big Evil Dead fan, then you might either want to get a used copy or wait and see if the price of the new one goes down, or just keep the Blu-ray if you've got the Blu-ray. Let's take a look at some of those. Let's take a look at the price of this. Let's see. Actually, this version is, you can get it for a good price at $14.99. That's brand new. Or you can get a used copy for $9.99. I definitely wouldn't get it used good from Tone and Tempo for $18. Again, that doesn't make sense if Amazon is selling it brand new for $15 or $14.99. If you order it today, you can get it Tuesday. So, you know, it might be worth it at that price. I just don't want you to expect exceptional quality like I've been talking about with some of these releases. The audio, you get audio commentary with writer and director Sam Raimi, producer Robert Tappert, and star Bruce Campbell, which is an excellent, albeit archival, I believe, commentary. And it says disc 1 4K Ultra HD movie plus special features, and the Blu-ray movie plus special features. And I think you get more than just that audio commentary. But I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I actually had this one in to watch it. But anyway, that is Evil Dead. It would probably be worth paying $15 for it. Unless you were just a huge fan like me and it was going for more. But again, I just wouldn't expect a whole lot. Now, and by the way, Lionsgate put these out. The next one, of course, is Evil Dead 2 4K. I believe, you know, this was a little bit newer film. This was like 87. So the picture quality is slightly better than the Evil Dead. This one might be more worth your money. And actually, let's just see what this one is going for. It is also going for $14.99 on Amazon right now. If you order it now, you can get it on Tuesday. So this one, without a doubt, would be worth the $15 or the $14.99. Again, you don't get Dolby Atmos, so you get DTS HD Master Audio. You also get, and I believe Studio Canal did the transfer at least for this one. So if John watches this later, he may, you know, if he doesn't have these, he might consider getting at least the second one. But again, you get a 4K Ultra HD of the movie, and you also get a Blu-ray of the movie. 4K and Blu-ray special features. Bloody and Groovy Baby, tribute to Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2. Audio commentary with writer and director Sam Raimi, actor Bruce Campbell, co-writer Scott Spiegel, and special makeup effects artist Greg Nicotero. That is an awesome archival commentary. A Blu-ray special features. Swallowed Souls, The Making of Evil Dead 2. Cabin Fever, behind the scenes of Evil Dead 2. Road to Wadesville, revisiting the shooting locations, filmmaker Tony Elwood, Evil Dead 2, Behind the Screams, and the excellent The Gore the Merrier documentary, still galleries, and audio commentary. And that is Evil Dead 2. Okay, down to the last two, guys. The first one is Halloween. This is another Lionsgate release. And I'm going to talk about Halloween 2 here in just a second. And it is a Scream Factory release. But this one is the Lionsgate release. Let me tell you what it's going for right now on Amazon. I also have the steelbook with that cool artwork that was the Best Buy exclusive, which I almost pulled out, but then I didn't. I just grabbed this one real quickly. And I also have, I believe I have the Scream Factory one as well for Halloween. Either one, I think, would be an excellent addition to your collection. Now, the one that I've got in my hand right now is going for $22.99 on Amazon, which is not too awfully expensive. The Scream Factory release is going for $23.99. It's just about $1 more. So for $40-something, you could get both of them. And I do have both of them, and you're probably like crazy. Why have you got, actually I've got this version. I've got the Scream Factory version, and I have that Best Buy exclusive 4K steelbook. So, I buy a lot of versions of Halloween as well. So, the reason why I also got the Scream Factory release is because this release I've got in my hand here does not have the Dolby Atmos sound. And that's the only thing really for me between those two releases that knocked this particular one out of being the perfect release. Because I am a stickler for having that Dolby Atmos sound, if at all possible. But the picture quality is outstanding on this. And if it had the Dolby Atmos, this would be a complete package. And this has the original artwork as well. And I didn't know for the longest time, I don't know if y'all can see this on the camera, but the hand that's holding the knife, you can see a screaming face in there if you look real closely. And I didn't know that for a long time till I saw somebody had like a still picture and they had it like circled or red circle around or whatever. And that is just so cool. But anyway, if you want the complete package with Dolby Atmos sound and excellent picture quality, then definitely go with the Scream Factory release. Like I said, both releases are very reasonably priced right now. So you could get either or both if you wanted to and still wouldn't have to spend very much. You get disc 1, which is the 4K, and disc 2, which is the Blu-ray. You get audio commentary with writer and director John Carpenter and actor Jamie Lee Curtis. The Night She Came Home featurette, on location 25 years later featurette, TV version footage, which is always interesting, trailer, TV spots, and radio spots. And that is Halloween. The last one I'm going to cover is the Scream Factory release of Halloween 2. And yes, that is lame artwork. I don't know what Scream Factory was thinking when they did this, did the artwork. And I'm not trying to make fun of the person that did the artwork, but it's like, come on, guys, that is really lame looking. And a lot of people have been saying that essentially. This is the collector's edition. Um, let's just take a look and see. This one's going for a little bit more than the original, about $3 more. It's going for $26.79. I still think it's worth it. I think it looks awesome. You do, again, get the Dolby Atmos sound, so you get the complete package. Now, if you're not the hugest Halloween fan in the world, then you might want to possibly wait and see if the price goes down or see if you can get a decent used copy. Because not everybody in the world might not be the biggest Halloween fan out there. Okay? Because I know old Curly Jaw says that the original Halloween is overrated. So there might be others of you out there that believe that way too. But I still, even at $26, I think that's pretty reasonable for the package. And, I was talking about this hard case here. It's got pretty lame artwork. But the good thing is that you can always reverse this artwork. And there is that great creepy pumpkin artwork that I always loved, that I remembered from the VHS tapes when I was a kid. But anyway, let's go with the special features. This one, you get a new 2021 4K scan from the original camera negative, theatrical cut, new Dolby Atmos mix, audio commentary with director Rick Rosenthal, audio commentary with stunt coordinator Dick Warlock. Disc 2 is the Blu-ray. You get a new 2021 4K scan from the original camera negative, theatrical cut, new 2021 Dolby Atmos mix, new interview with production manager Jeffrey Chernov, audio commentary with Rick Rosenthal, audio commentary with Dick Warlock. The Nightmare Isn't Over, the making of Halloween 2, featuring Rick Rosenthal, Dick Warlock, composer Alan Howarth, director of photography Dean Cundy, actors Lance Guest and Leo Rossi, and more. Horror's Hallowed Grounds, I love these. Revisiting the original shooting locations. Deleted scenes with optional audio commentary with Rick Rosenthal. Alternate ending with optional audio commentary with Rick Rosenthal. Still gallery, theatrical trailer, TV, and radio spots. Disc 3 is the DVD with the television cut and standard definition film script on DVD-ROM. And that is Halloween 2 4K. Okay, so guys, I don't even know if there's anybody else in here. Nobody's been chatting for a while, so you might have all zoned out and left on me. But we have now reached the end of my part 1 of my horror 4Ks. And kind of my review of them. I hope this has helped you, some of you guys or all of you guys, make decisions about what ones that you may want to get in the future that you don't already have. Again, don't just take my word for it. You can just add my reviews to the many reviews that are out there. Check out other reviews from people that you trust. And then you'll be able to, I feel like, make a more educated decision about whether you want to spend the money on some of these particular releases or not. So, since nobody seems to be talking about anything else in the chat, I think I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for the night. Try to get my kitchen cleaned up and all that good stuff. And try to get to bed so that I won't be so much like a zombie when I get up and go crawl back here to my desk to work from home. But thank y'all all again for hanging out with me for a little over a couple of hours. As always, I appreciate it. And I'll be back again with something hopefully sooner rather than later. Talk to you guys in a bit, hopefully. Have a good night.